Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be covering the 5 best low friendship trades that help you prepare for Go Battle League. These are restricted to legendary trades, and I mostly focus on Ultra League. One, because Masters you want as close to 100% as possible, and in Great League, legendaries are not as meta relevant, and there's lots of alternatives. But this is going to be part 1. If there's enough likes, let's say 250 likes, then I'll do part 2, which will be my take on the best lucky trades in preparation for Go Battle League. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 5. Number 5 is Armored Mewtwo. Armored Mewtwo is absolutely amazing. It is, I think, in the top 5 or 6 most bulkiest Pokemon in all of Ultra League, so it scales super well in Ultra League. Yeah, really amazing. It actually can beat Registeel, which is something really unique as a Psychic type. It's able to beat fighters. It's able to beat Registeel. It's able to beat a lot of flyers because it has Rock Slide, Confusion, Rock Slide, Dynamic Punch. That is an excellent moveset. Gives it a lot of coverage with its bulk. It's able to survive a lot of moves. So when you take a look at the best combination you can get, which is with Good Friends trade, is a 1-15-15 at 4685890 overall stat product, and at that stat product it has 288 wins, 40 losses, and three draws. And at Great Friends, it's a 2-13-15 stat distribution, only a small drop off from Good Friends, and basically the same result. At Ultra Friends, you see us, that's actually where you start seeing a pretty big difference for whatever reason. You'll see that it's 4-6-3-15-11, gives you 4-6-5-1-4-9-2, and you'll see you actually end up dropping 7 wins. 3 of those turns to draws, so these are likely ones that you just barely won by like fractions of HP, and then 4 of them actually turn to losses. And at Best Friends, it's 5-14-14, and the distribution in the stat product is largely the same as Ultra Friends, and you turn one of your wins into a loss. And the number one you can get from raids is 10-12-12, and you'll see that it's 277 wins, 49 losses, and 5 draws. And if you compare that to the best one, it's only a 11 win difference. They're likely the ones that are very close. So really in Ultra League, and you're going to see this pattern throughout this video, in Ultra League, the IV stats are mostly because of the base stats. The IVs make a little bit of difference, and they'll make some difference in some matchups. For the most part, you just want to make sure you have as good as IV as possible. The non-legendary comparison that I could find, something that could beat fighters, could beat grass types and poison type, could beat poison types, could beat some of the steals, is Gallade. Gallade actually ends up tying a lot of the steals with close combat. We have to time that pretty correctly, and its stat distribution is not as high as Armored Mewtwo. But you'll see that Armored Mewtwo at the default IV picks up 277 wins, 46 losses, 8 draws, while Gallade at default IVs has 248 wins, 67 losses, and 16 draws. If you maximize Gallade's stats, I'm sure it picks up like 5 or 6 or maybe even 8 or 9 more wins, but it's still not as close, but it's a decent comparison. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 2, which is Regirock. Regirock recently got Lock On. Its ideal moveset, at least based off the ones I simmed, is Lock On, Stone Edge, Focus Blast. Obviously, it can take care of flyers, can take care of ice types, can take care of, it loses to ground, it loses to fighting. But overall, really great Pokemon with some like pretty good spreads. In terms of its best IV combination, at Good Friends, it's going to be 1-14-15 with a 4.7 million stat product, which is quite high. It picks up 264 wins, 62 losses, and 5 draws. And then what you'll notice is actually at Great Friends. Actually, I'm going to just quickly double check this. I'm pretty sure I did this correctly because I just went through all of them. Let me quickly double check these numbers on my side. We're going to take a look at 2-13-13 at level 30.5. Picks up in the Ultra League, and this is at default IVs. Yep, 258 wins. And if you go to the Ultra one, for whatever reason, picks up 260 wins. So for whatever reason, the slightly worse stat distribution, that might be like from higher HP perhaps, or the slightly higher attack allows it to just do enough damage. And these are all one shield matchups. Picks up 260 wins, 67 losses, 4 wins. So 2 of those draws actually turn to wins when you increase your attack stat just by a little bit. Pretty interesting. It goes to show you that not all having the best IV doesn't always mean that you have the best spread. But there again, IVs are pretty minor. The best friends, it's 6-14-14. 259 wins, 68 losses, 4 draws. And then at 10-13-13, you'll see the stat product drops off pretty significantly. And as well, you end up dropping 5 additional wins compared to best friends and 10 compared to good friends. 254, 73, and 4. The best comparison I could find is Relicanth. Relicanth is actually ultra tanky at Ultra League. It's pretty tanky at Great League, but it definitely scales up really well in Ultra League. It's able to, do a lot of the similar things that Regirock can. Able to beat the flyers. It beats fellow rock Pokemon because of its water typing. And Regirock has access to Focus Blast, which allows it to perform pretty well against other rock Pokemon. It beats most of the ice types, so pretty decent comparison. 257 wins, 70 losses, 4 draws for the default IV Regirock, and then for the default IV Relicanth, it's 230, 92 losses, and 9. Let's go ahead and take a look at, I'm just going to put on the screen over here, the max IV one. Picks up 248 wins, actually interesting. 78 losses and 5 draws. Whoa, that's quite a big difference. I guess because the default IV doesn't allow it to scale it all the way to 2500. So yeah, pretty good. 248, 78, and 5 makes it pretty close to Regirock. So I think that's a pretty good. It's obviously a regional, not the most common Pokemon, probably not the easiest to get candy for, but hey, if you live in New Zealand or you've been to an event, that's a pretty good substitute for Regirock. And at number 3, it's going to be its compatriot, the Ice version, Regice. The stat products for Regice and Regirock are the exact same because they have the same stats. Its wins go from 266 at Good Friends to 263 for the best raid version. So not really a big drop off between those two. And the best comparison that I could find is Lapras. It has Blizzard. I think Earthquake is its other secondary move. But with Blizzard, it allows it to beat the dragons, beat flyers. Pretty similar comp to Lapras. Lapras might have like a better chance against water types because it does resist water. But Regice would be able to deal with grass types better than Lapras, since Lapras is taking super effective damage while Regice is taking neutral. So Lapras does pick up 9 more losses compared to Regice at the default IVs. At the max IVs, it's actually at same 261 wins, 66 losses, and 4 draws. So actually, well, it doesn't draw as much, as you see, 10 more losses compared to 10 more draws. So Regice would end up with more draws. But a lot of those draws are likely, just because of the nature of lock-on, are likely CMP ties. And then once the new system comes into play, you'll see a lot of those draws turn into losses because Regice is fairly bulky, going to have a lower attack stat, a lower effective attack stat than a lot of the Pokemon it's currently CMP tying. So pretty similar if you get a rank 1 Lapras, which is a 6, 15, 13 Lapras. Doable, but you need the double legacy version in order to meet those results. At number 2 is Cresselia. Cresselia is absolutely amazing at Ultra League. A definite must-have Cresselia has can have Psycho Cut or Confusion. It has a really good spread of coverage moves in terms of Aurora Beam, Moonblast, and Future Sight. None of them like amazing moves in and by itself, but they give really good coverage. With Moonblast and Aurora Beam, either running Confusion or Psycho Cut allows you to be all move sets of Giratina altered. It doesn't matter if it's Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak, which would be the optimal moveset to take down a Cresselia, because of Cresselia's incredible bulk, 5.2 million, 5.3 million if you round, at Good Friends. It makes it super tanky, allows you to win and outlast a lot of opponents. So you can run two different versions, either do a lot of damage with Confusion or get access to Moonblast, Aurora Beam, or Future Sight super quickly. So definitely a must-have for Ultra League. At Good Friends, it picks up 290 wins. At Great Friends, the same thing. At Ultra Friends, it's 290. At Best Friends, it's 289. And at Grades, it's 288. So not really a huge difference. And that's because like most of Cresselia's amazingness is not its IV distribution, is because of its distribution of stats, its moveset and move pool capability. It does get walled by the steel types, so that's something to take into consideration. But it's able to check a lot of opponents, and actually couldn't really think of a Pokemon that beats fighters, beats most dragons because of Aurora Beam, beats poisons, except for the dark poisons, beat grasses, beats other meta psychic Pokemon, and so much more. I actually couldn't find a decent comparison for Cresselia, but let me know down in the comment section below what you think is a decent comparison for Cresselia. And number one, no surprise, the king of the meta of metas in Ultra League is going to be Giratina Altered Form. I did include Origin Form because it's pretty similar to Ultra in terms of what it covers. So I'd rather you trade for other Pokemon, and then Giratina Origin might be like number 6, for example. You'll see at Good Friends, it has a 4.69 million stat product. Picks up 304 wins. At Great Friends, it's 4.67 million and picks up 302. It's actually the same at Ultra League. Ultra Friends, and then at Best Friends it's 5, 12, 13, picking up 300 wins, and then at the raid levels where you start to drop off pretty significantly to 295 wins, 31 losses, and 5 draws. And the non-legendary comparison is Dragonite. Dragonite with its flying typing allows it to, compete pretty effectively against fighters, which is what Giratina really specializes in. Allows it to beat a lot of the starters in the starter meta because of its dragon typing. It does have access to Dragon Claw like Giratina. Maybe doesn't have the same coverage with Ancient Power or Shadow Sneak that Giratina Ultra does, but it's pretty decent comparison. It doesn't necessarily line up in terms of the win performance, but effectively does the same job. Just Giratina is able to flip some of the matches that Dragonite, and that's mostly because of Ancient Power, Shadow Claw. It's like slightly more diverse move pool, but its typing is pretty similar. The Pokemon it's supposed to be are pretty similar. So anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want to see part 2, let me know down in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a like. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to grind my way to 20,000 subscribers. And I'll see everyone in the next video.